Okay, do I look like a referee? Can you see? This is the closest I could get to. Someone needs to send me a whistle as like a present because I don't have a ref whistle. So it is Script Off 2022. I'm very, very, very excited to be bringing this to you today. My name's Vija Williams. I am with a whole bunch of companies. It's a lot to list. Place, Ben Kinney Companies, Ben Kinney Keller Williams Brokerages, Her Best Life, Empire Building Podcast. I'm going to stop, but a lot. And every single week we do webinars right here live, right? At noon Pacific time. And it has been so long since I've had these two absolutely drop dead gorgeous gentlemen on my webinar to do a script off. And I have to tell you, I've been so excited about this. I was doing my weekly planning on Sunday and I saw this was on the schedule. I was like, yes, we're going to do this. So couple rules, and then I'm going to introduce you guys. We're going to do 4 scripts, gentlemen. We're going to do 4, like, they're not so much just like objections. Like, we're going to do 4 objections, and you're each going to have a turn to combat the objection. And we're going to do it in role play format, right? And then the audience that's on Zoom, we have a lot of people watching us on Facebook, which is great. And you guys can just put it in chat if you want. But if you're on Zoom, you're going to vote. Robin's going to put a poll and you're going to vote on who you think the winner is. So we might have to do a tiebreaker round. If we have time, we'll just do like an audience, audience request. So if you have any objections that you don't hear, by the time we're done with 4, if we have time, we might do a 5th to either break the tie or, like I said, to just give the audience what they want, because we need to give people what they want. So with that said, who should I introduce first? Alphabetical order. Perna.
That's me.
Was that like politically correct? Because there's no way to win there.
That's very correct.
There's really no way to win there. So Michael Perna is one of my favorites. He founded the Perna team in Detroit. Are you actually in Detroit, or are you kind of outside of Detroit?
Outside of, in the suburbs, Novi, Royal Oak. We service the entire 5-county area. Anywhere in Southeast Detroit, if you got a referral, send it my way. We'd be happy to take care of everybody. Shameless plug.
And you sell like 700, 800 homes a year, right? An enormous amount of homes. Yeah.
We had 877 last year. We're targeting 1,200 this year.
Oh, amazing. That is so amazing. And so just out of curiosity, because we were talking about price plan earlier.
Richard's laughing because he's going to sell like 4 homes total and then kill my price point.
Richard's going to sell 4 homes and
kill my volume.
For you, how many homes, like 1,000 homes in your area? What would that volume be?
About 280 million.
Baller. That's so amazing. You have multiple businesses that you're involved with, Michael Perna, and do you want to kind of list some of them and tell everybody you're involved in mortgage, title, brokerages? You have so many.
There you go. You just listed them.
Okay.
Title, mortgage, brokerages, and everything.
Yeah. Cool. I'm so happy to have you. You're truly, I think, one of the smartest people in real estate. Speaking of this, the other smartest person in real estate, one of my other favorites, who I love so much because he's wearing bright yellow shirt today, because he actually thinks he's the referee falsely, because I'm the referee with my fake little whistle, because no one got me a whistle. This is Richard Schulman, one of the funniest men in real estate. He's based in Los Angeles and sells 2 homes a year to do 500 million in volume. No, he doesn't. But Richard has one of the top teams in the nation, and certainly in Los County. Richard, how many homes do you guys sell a year?
So I want to give a plug to Michael, is that I built my business learning from people like Michael, because I wanted to know, when I came up, I don't know how much context you want, but when I came up, we were, no one in LA sold more than 20 homes in a year. And I joined KW and I said, I got to model people like Mike Perna doing probably only 500 homes back in the day. So last year we did 225 homes for about 225 million. And this year our price point's up about 25%. So we're going to do hopefully 225 homes again at a higher price point, maybe a little bit more.
Nice.
225. And so what will that volume be for you?
I mean, right now we're on track for like 325, 350 in volume, 350 million in volume.
You guys are incredible, and you're both incredible. And what's cool about it, and the reason I like doing script offs with you guys, is that you know, some people in the country are more transactional, higher like unit count model, like Michael Perna. And some of them are, you know, more coastal markets like you, Richard. And so what's cool is there's no real winners or losers. What's cool is that they each have these different approaches that everybody watching or listening, right, can benefit from.
But there will be a winner today.
Today
there will be a winner. And I just feel like Richard needs to show everybody he got into. I told him I was dressed like a referee. Next thing I know, he was undressing in front of me really inappropriately. And he was putting a yellow shirt on. And then he started whipping out like yellow cards and red cards.
If anyone doesn't behave themselves,
no.
I am certified by AYSO to give you a yellow card as long as you're 10 years or younger. Okay, so for the record, he is not going to do that, because I am going to go like this and hold up my lipstick. Wait, I'm going to hold up my lipstick if someone's inappropriate, because that's red. There will be no inappropriateness. I know there won't be. Okay. So I kind of came up with what I thought were some of the common objections and problems we're seeing in this market right now. And these guys, we kind of worked on it together, and then they added a really good one. So we're going to do 4, like I said, seller, buyer, seller. And then the last one's kind of like a seller buy together, right? Some of these are seller buys together. So like I said, I'm going to introduce the objection, and then we're going to role play. You just kind of start talking in script, and I'll just kind of role play along with you. Okay. And who wants to go first? I should have brought a coin to toss. Want me to get my official coin?
What, does he have a coin, Michael?
There's an official coin. Of course he has a coin.
Of course he has an official coin.
Oh
my gosh.
What? It's in the car. It's not in my bag.
Okay.
There's an official coin. It's for real.
Richard Schulman's going first, because I introduced Michael Perna first. So great. That's how I'm going to decide that. Okay. So the very first objection is, so Michael can be thinking about it. Richard, will you cut your listing commission? We know our house is going to sell quickly, and we likely are going to get multiple offers in just a few days. And I have 3 other agents lined up ready to list my house at a really big discount. So, you know, would you cut your commission?
Yeah, Vija, let me ask you a question. Who are the other 3 agents that you're interviewing?
Jack, Sally, and Jane.
Okay. And are any of them local? I'm not actually familiar with any of them.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they are. They're with you know, these companies, and I think they sell a lot of houses.
There's lots of letters in the name.
Yeah. I don't know.
And this is a real example, because I just did this one with the seller. Okay. When you called me, Vija, you said the first thing you asked me is you wanted someone who is an expert in the neighborhood and an expert in the market. Now, this home is in my market. I'm one of the top selling agents in the market. I'm not familiar with the other 3. I don't know what business they're doing. But if you want to hire an agent based on commission, you're probably going to be hiring someone, it sounds like, who doesn't have experience in the current market. Are you okay doing that?
I mean, I guess my comment is, I know you can do the job. I really want to work with you. You're great, but I'm about to hand you a $2 million listing that's probably going to sell in 3 days. You know, it just feels like I owe it to myself to talk to you about this, because it just feels like a lot of commission for not that much work.
Yeah, look, I totally get that. It's not that we're judged on the value of our time of work. It's on the output. What do we create for you? Yes, the job hopefully will only take several days to do, not 3 days. I walked you through all the marketing we do before. If I can get you the number that you're looking for, are you willing to pay the market commission for that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it'd have to be pretty high.
Okay. Well, I can tell you, and I've shown you on these previous 3 sales in your neighborhood, that we've exceeded market comp significantly on each one of them. And my concern is if you go with, you know, an agent who Jack, Sally, Jane, who don't work here, who aren't experienced, who aren't listing, you know, my team and I are listing 15 homes a month. We have the experience to know where's the market today, what can we squeeze out of the buyers? We can deliver all that for you. Does that sound fair to you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just wondering how, you know, how that really benefits me. Are you saying you do that and the other agents can't deliver that benefit to me?
We know that they can't. It's not that I'm saying they can't. The market is saying they can't. You know, I can show you here. I've sold the last 3 homes in your neighborhood, and I've gotten the new high price each time per square foot. those agents haven't. You might as well hire Mike Perna from Detroit to sell your home because he has as much experience here as they do.
Yeah.
I would, by the way, I'd really be that direct about it. Because if they want to challenge me on my money, I'm just like, listen, go hire the guy who doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, okay, perfect.
Vija, listen, what are you looking for in commission? Let me put it to you this way. Our normal 6, I told you that because this is our neighborhood, we'd love to work here. We're willing to come down to 5.5% commission. What do you think is reasonable?
I was thinking more like, 4.5, where, we get 2 and maybe we pay out, the buyer's agent 2.5.
Okay,
So
we definitely have to pay the buyer's agent 2.5. We're not touching that. The bottom line is on every listing that I've shown you that I've sold, I've received the 5.5, full 5.5 from them. You're talking about 1%. That's $20,000 in this property, right? Approximately, depending on what we sell at. I'm promising you, I guarantee you that I will exceed your expectations on this house by that amount or more, and you'll earn that money back. Is that fair to you?
Oh, I like that. That's really good, Richard. Super good.
Vote now. Start the voting.
No, that's good though. I like how you broke it down and then you made it into real dollars, not a percentage.
Yeah. By the way, I like to stay away from dollars because it sounds like a lot of money at our price point. So that's really like my last resort is to go to like, what's the actual dollar?
Yeah. Well, I pushed you. I've been a tough.
No, it's good.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That was really good. So sign here, basically, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, look, Michael Perna, I really do want to work with you, but I have to ask you, will you lower your listing commission? We have 3 other agents lined up. I'm handing you a $300,000 house that we both know is going to sell with multiple offers in a few days because every other house in our neighborhood is sold. And it just feels like, I should get a discount because you may not be doing all the work on that.
Absolutely. No, and Vija, I can 100% appreciate where you're coming from. First, let me ask you, what are the other agents willing to go to as far as commission goes?
Yeah, I'm hearing 4%, 2 and 2.
Okay, so 4% versus our 7%.
Sorry, I said 4.5, didn't I? Sorry, I'm wrong. 2.5, 4.5. So 2 to the listing agent, 2.5 paid out.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. And let me ask you, do you feel that there are certain agents that can get a higher price versus others?
Well, I'm hearing a lot of variation in prices. So yeah, it seems like some agents think they can get higher than others. Yeah.
Yeah, of course you do. Otherwise, you wouldn't be hiring. You wouldn't be looking at 4 different agents. You'd just be looking at one agent if everybody was equal, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now, why do you think that is? That some agents get more than others?
I don't know, like they believe in my house and they believe that's the value. And so I think that's probably important that if they really think that the house is worth 325, then, I think they'll probably get it.
Well, and I'll tell you, Vija, I 100% believe in the value of your house. I just want to make sure I've got that out there and make that exceptionally clear. But more importantly, the difference between agents is honestly experience. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Some agents are experienced negotiators that can get you more money and some just aren't. And let me ask you, how do you best determine experience? Time in the market or what they've done with that time? How many homes they've sold, their track record, all of that.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about it. I probably would have said time, but the way you asked that question makes me think maybe experience.
Yeah. Well, here's a list of the last 100 homes that we've sold. By the way, did the other agents bring with you a list of what they've sold, their list of sales price, days on market, anything like that?
You sold 100 homes? No.
Yeah.
That's amazing. No, they didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, and some of these are right around the corner. Wow.
And first, before we dive into that too much, one thing I want to make sure I put a pin on is it's a little concerning to me that they didn't bring those statistics and they didn't bring those numbers. Generally speaking, if you're the best at something or if you have a really good number, you want to shout that from the rooftop. You want to get that out there. And if you're average or below average, you kind of want to hide that and tuck that away. Is that fair?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Well, here are my 100. Can we use the market average in place of their non-existent numbers?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So right now, the average list price to sales price in Metro Detroit is 98%. As you can see here on my last 100 homes, it's 104.3%. So that's a difference right there of just a full 6%, 6.3%.
So you're getting 4.5% over what you listed as?
6.3.
Listed at? Okay,
well, 4.3% over list price,
right. Yeah.
6.3 over the market average.
Okay. Wow.
Right? Can I tell you what number my savvy sellers are looking at?
Yeah.
The net price.
Yeah.
If you take the
at the end of the day, you're right. That's what matters. So what I'm going to get, what I'm going to walk away. You're right. That's really what matters the most.
Absolutely. And Vija, you were telling me that it was very important that you move by July because you want to make sure your kids were in the next school district and all those things, right?
Mhm.
Can I share with you something else?
Yeah.
And this is a phenomenon only happening in this market. Right now, 35 to 40% of all transactions are falling through. And you're moving twice. So you've got two transactions. So that's a much higher percentage. What happens if your current deal on your current home falls through? Because you're right, any agent could get it under any sort of contract. But what happens if it doesn't make it to the closing table?
It would be bad because we would have made a buying decision, all of our future decisions are hinging on this.
Yeah. And in most cases, you can probably get out of that next buying decision. And the downside is you don't get into the new house. You lost the house you love. Your kids don't get into the school district that you want them in, but it's not necessarily the end of the world. What happens if it's the other way? What happens if the house you're buying falls through due to lack of experience, but you still have to sell this home?
Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
Yeah. Have you looked at quotes from movers yet?
No.
Okay. Well, for your size home, 300,000, the average move is around $8,000. And I'll tell you what, because now we're looking at a potential double move, we've got to double that number as well.
Ooh.
So not only am I going to get you more money, but I'm going to reduce the risk because 90% of our transactions go to a closing table. If you having to do a double move, maybe live with in-laws, go into a short-term rental, basically you got to sell the house you're under contract for, even if you don't have one on the other end.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay.
We could be talking tens of thousands of dollars.
Okay. All right. So what do you charge?
19%.
Perfect. So 19%, I have all the competitions telling me 5%.
Absolutely. Hey, I completely understand. I'm willing to go down as low as 7%, but that's where my value is. Are you ready to get started?
Boom, baby. Yep, I'm ready to get started. Okay.
Are you really at 7%, Mike?
6 or 7.
All right. So Robin's going to throw the poll up, and you guys have to tell us if you're on Zoom. You have to tell us who you think won that script off. Who do you think run that script off? And Michael Perna, he's loading I think Michael's got like some audience members in here. I'm just gonna.
80% of these people live in Michigan.
80%.
80%.
Michael Perna is winning by a very large margin. It's
the
like
whole state of Michigan is in
77, 25%. But here's the thing. Get this, what Richard did was really good for my market because Richard, you and I have a super similar price point. And this is a really good example that both approaches are really strong and really good because you kind of need the two different approaches, right? So I would argue there's no real winner here. That said, there's definitely a winner for this first one, and we've got Michael Perna at 71%, Richard Schulman at 29%. So now on the next one,
I'll take it.
Hey, do you guys want to know what I say for that? By the way,
Yeah.
Don't mind.
But we're not going to revote, right? Because Richard and I will both lose.
So I'm not in it. I'm the referee. I'm the referee, but it's also house rules. So we have that going on. So I'm actively, a lot of people ask me this. I'm actively in production. I have probably brought on 10 listings so far this year in my spare time. Don't ask me, that's a different topic. Time management's probably its own webinar, but, and so lately what I have been saying on that is, and I'm paraphrasing it, but it's worked extraordinarily well. It's that, Richard, it's interesting because I find that when my sellers are interviewing, different agents, right, they tend to look at all the shining objects, the beautiful glossy brochures that they show them, and they're going to do sliders and show you before and after on staging. And there's a lot of really glossy marketing happening right now. And it's sexy, it's good. And we do phenomenal marketing, right? But I think you'll find if you're interviewing a group of agents, you're probably going to boil it down to a top 2. Is that fair? They always say yes, by the way, always say yes. And I say, would it be a fair assumption to say I might be in one of the top 2?
Yep.
And it's hard for someone to say no to that. So whether they're lying to me or not, I don't know. I don't know that I care. And here's what I say almost every time, almost verbatim. I say, Richard, what you're paying for is what you don't see. What you're actually paying at the end of the day, assuming that all the marketing is good and all of the back end is good, you're paying for negotiation. And I'm gonna walk you through 2 or 3 stories where I have made my client $250,000 in the 6-hour period of getting multiple offers and coming and presenting it to my clients. May I share with you the last one that just happened 10 days ago, where I made $250,000 at the negotiating table in 6 hours. And those are the things agents don't talk about. It's the things that I can't give you a slider on that necessarily. It's not a glossy brochure. That's what you're paying for. You are paying for that expertise that you cannot see that happens. And it's when the rubber hits the road. That's when the men are separated from the boys and the women are separated from the girls. It's in that moment that you're paying your agent. And I cannot express my love and joy and knowledge and skill in negotiation. It's what I live for. It's what I breathe for. It's what I'm here for. That's what you want me for. And that's what you're paying me for. And I have won listings, guys, I'm on a roll. and I think that we need to share that story more, that it's what happens behind the scenes that they don't see that they're actually paying for. Like we have to educate them and share that with them, because we all know that, and we assume they know that, but they don't know that. Like they don't understand. And I tell them stories. I have stories upon stories, right? About how I made, I just made a client $500,000 over list price 10 days ago. And when the offers came in, they were $250,000 over list price. I just told it yesterday. So anyway, that's what I do. Okay. I'm not one of the choices. I know. Well, I can't help it. And besides, it's house rules, right? All right, going into number 2.
I'm just glad you did that after we voted.
No. But it's good. But it's good, right? I mean, to tell them what, and what I love about Michael Perna is he gives them the list of 100. Richard, you have so many stories that I bet you're not telling. If you give your clients lists, and I just feel like showing them proof and giving them actual real stories, whether it's on paper or whatever, that's almost more effective. Like humans remember stories 17 times more than, whatever. So I don't know. That's my little 2 bits. Okay, we're done. I'm done. Soapbox over. Okay. This is for a buyer, objection number 2. And this was from you guys. You guys both felt like this would be a really good one. And I agree. This is a really, really good one.
I'm not going to read them.
Okay, good. So I'm going to, so you're going first.
Oh, great.
You're going first. So pay attention, Michael Perna. Okay. So this is a buyer objection, Michael. Okay, Michael, you're telling me I have to write this offer for $50,000. How far over do you guys go in Detroit?
All right. The first question I'm going to ask, is this your first offer?
Well, hold on. Let me give you the objection. I just want to give it realistic.
30,000 over, 40,000 over.
Okay. So Richard or Michael, I'm really uncomfortable writing an offer for $30,000 over list price and waiving all of the contingencies. I don't know if I can do that. That doesn't feel right. I feel like I'm overpaying for the house.
Yeah.
So that's the objection.
Okay. If this is your first offer, then I just go, hey, listen, I get it. And I'm not sure I'd be comfortable with waiving all the contingencies either, especially just jumping on the market. Let's just write with whatever you're comfortable for. And then I'd allow the seller to be the bad guy and let that be the education tool. Because what we found in our market is if we're pushing the buyer too much on their first offer, they're as likely to fire us as anything else.
Okay, I actually
let the seller be the bad guy. Now, if it's a second time, then it's hey, Vija, listen, I completely understand where you're coming from. I get it. Now, let me ask the question. What happened the first time we wrote an offer? Did we get it or did we not?
No, we lost and there were 7 offers. And
yeah, so clearly, if we keep on doing the same thing, are we going to get a different result?
Probably not.
Okay, and on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you want this home?
It has a pool. It's a 10.
Then let's make your offer a 10. Let's remove the contingencies. Let's get the price up to where it needs to be. I've already talked to the listing agent. I've already had your lender reach out to say how strong of a buyer you are. We are poised to win this thing. Are you ready to win?
I mean, I'm ready to win, but am I overpaying?
Hey, it's 4 clicks. Just click the DocuSign 4 times. You're good.
What about like, what if is it going to appraise?
It's not, and you're probably going to bring the extra money, which is what we had talked about with the appraisal deficiency. But let me ask you a different question. Are property values going up or down?
I think they're going up like crazy.
Okay. Do you know anybody that bought a home 4 months ago, 6 months ago?
Yeah. I mean,
Have the
it's
values
crazy.
gone up or down?
The values have definitely gone up for sure. They've gone up. Yeah.
Well, 6 months from now, when you're enjoying your pool, you're also going to be enjoying a lot of equity.
Yeah. Yeah. So even if I'm quote unquote overpaying, yeah, I see what you're saying. But doesn't list price what value is? Like if I pay 30,000 over list price, aren't I paying $30,000 over value?
No, that's a great question. List price is a number that was picked by the sellers and the agent. And in this market, oftentimes it's a teaser number to attract a lot of buyers at the same time to the property. So it has nothing to do with the actual value of the property.
Okay. All right. Okay. That's fair. Okay. All right. Let's do it. I want this house. I want this house. My husband's on board. Let's do it.
Excellent.
Cool. All right. Richard Schulman, let's use your and my price point. So
That was, by the way, that was really good, Mike.
that was really good. Yeah, it's really good.
Thank you.
Let's say it's a $1.5 million house. And Richard, and just so I'm clear on a role
You don't
play
get
in
the
LA.
whole house?
I know. No, just I know. What's it like? How far over would it go potentially there?
I mean, I can use an example of one I had clients right on where the asking was 1,769, which we knew was intentionally very low.
Mhm.
And it ended up it's closing today or tomorrow, like 2,350.
Okay, perfect. Let's use that one. That's perfect.
That's not abnormal. That's fairly common.
Okay, perfect. That's like Seattle. So Richard, this house is 1,769. We have looked at 20 houses together. We've lost out on a few offers. It is so hard for me to wrap my head around writing an offer. Like you're talking like 400,000 or 500,000 over. I can't. And then you're telling me to waive everything. And then I'm probably going to have to bring, maybe up to another 100 or 2 to the table for a low appraisal. Help me understand this. Cause right now I'm not feeling it.
Yeah, listen, I totally get it. All of my clients and I are having the same conversation all day long. Let me ask you the first big question that Mike forgot to ask, which would have made his perfect. How did you feel when you lost the last house?
Not good, but I also felt like it was probably for the best.
Okay. And was that because you didn't like the specific house or that you didn't want to buy anything?
I mean, like when I lost it, I was okay with it actually.
Okay.
I was okay with it. I was upset, but I was like, yeah, maybe that wasn't the most perfect house. Maybe I was trying to make it the more perfect house.
Is this a more perfect house for you?
Yes, I love this one. I think this is the one.
How will you feel if I call you in 3 days and tell you they took another offer?
Horrible. I'd feel horrible.
And I don't want that. I know that you don't want that, right?
Yeah, I know. But then you're telling me to waive everything. Like I could lose so much money on this.
Well, let me give you some information, right? So first of all, you're pre-approved with my preferred lender. He has never had a loan that's been pre-approved, not get to funding.
Never?
Right? Never.
Wow. Okay.
So, by the way, our market standard is more like 7 to 10 day inspection, no loan, no appraisal. Okay. So I would tell you also that if your lender was unable to get the loan done, which has never happened before, by the way, but if it happened, you still have a 10-day inspection contingency, and you have the ability to, get out of the escrow that way. Okay. The other thing, by working with me, remember when you decide to hire me, the same lender will rush our appraisal at no extra cost to you, so we can get that appraisal done within your inspection period too. So if the appraisal differential is too great, again, we can walk out. That being said, in the last 18 months of this crazy market, I've never had anyone lose a deal over appraisal or loan approval. We good there?
Okay. All right.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
So we solved that problem. We're good to go with no contingencies on loan and appraisal and a 10-day inspection. Easy, right? Let's talk about price. I don't know how detailed you want me to get on price here, but listen, we know that the 1,769 is a silly price. The last comparable house we actually had bid on, the last house, it was 1 block over. It sold for 2,150. Did you like that house more or this house more?
This one. This was nice. This is a nicer house.
Okay, that was also 6 months ago. The market's moved since then. My estimation is that this house will go for about 10% over the house that you didn't like as much. Does that sound fair to you?
Yeah, based on what I've seen, that's probably, yeah.
So my recommendation is going to be to write an
Okay.
offer definitely well north of 250, really over 2.3 to be competitive. And if you really like it, high 2.3s. Where do you feel in that range most comfortable?
Do you guys use escalation clauses in LA?
You know, we write them and it's just like, it used to work and no one takes them anymore. And it drives me crazy because it's like, I
They're the
got an
best.
email today and they're like, oh, it's not fair to the other buyers. I don't care.
I know what they're talking about.
We're trying to hand you
Okay,
money.
so we don't use escalations. Okay, highest and best. All right, let's do this. Let's do 2, 3, 5, but I want you to tell the agent to call you if we're gonna get beat out.
Okay, let me ask you this. If this sells for 2,375, are you going to be unhappy?
Yeah, I'm gonna be
Okay.
pissed.
Why don't we do this? Because I've never had a buyer, like, buy a property at a price that they're unhappy about in this market. In the last 18 months, I've never had a buyer say, I wish I didn't buy that house for that much money. Why don't we write it 2,376 just to make sure we're over that 2,375 number? Does that sound good to you?
All right, yeah, that's
All
fine.
right, I'm going to DocuSign it over to you, and I'm still going to go over to the agent's house. The last time I did this, I brought a $100 bottle of whiskey. I'm going to go over to their office, not their house, their office, and I'm going to bring a bottle of whiskey and make sure we get this house, okay?
It's amazing. You're the best.
Thank you. I think we can
Okay,
vote
that
now,
was
guys.
good. That was really good. So
man. That was
Robin's
really
gonna pull up the poll, and so let's talk about this.
Guys, let me win one. Mike can win 3. Just give me one. That was probably my best one.
Well, that was really good
It
because
was
you
really good.
you chunked it down. Robin, are you gonna pull it? Am I not seeing it? Oh, there we go. You chunked it down, which I really, really liked. And you broke down, you're like, okay, we're going to go into price. We're going to go into, first of all, you went into the terms and the financing, the contingency, and then you broke down price really well. You knew your comps, right? You knew the sales price to list price percentage. While everybody's voting, the only thing I would add, because both of you guys did a great job on that. The only thing I would add is that what I'm really, really pushing hard for our agents to do in their buyer consult, and so go upstream from this, and I didn't ask you this, but is, we're starting to look at, okay, you're looking at, this neighborhood in, where was the last comp I looked at? Oh, Queen Anne. You're looking at this neighborhood in Seattle, right? And I just pulled up a list of homes like the ones you're looking for, and they're selling on average at 20.6 sales price to list price. So they're selling at 120% on average of list price. So if you're saying that your limit is 2 million, I recommend that we cut off your home search at probably about 1.6. Okay. And what you have to understand in this market, and then we go through a whole thing with market value, that, market value isn't list price. That's just the auctioneer's starting bid. This make no mistake, multiple offers are an auction. And I would argue it's the purest way to achieve market value. It's actually the purest way in the universe to achieve it. It's a beautiful way to buy a property because the open market is literally competing and bidding and setting its own price ceiling. So value is just simply the starting bid, right? It's just the starting bid in the auction. And we can anticipate that on average, it's going to go up to 20%. So I'm going to be nervous if we walk into a door of a house that's 1.8, 1.9, or 2 million. I just think that you need to anticipate those are going to sell for anywhere from, 2.3 to 2.4 at this point. And so I just wanted to kind of share that setting the stage early on, knowing what your sales price to list price ratios are in the chosen market and in the chosen price point is important. Well, Richard Schulman,
There he is.
winner on this one at 87%, and Michael Perna at 13%, which means we are at a dead heat tie, gentlemen. We're at a dead heat tie.
I know Mike's going to win overall, but as long as I got one, that was my goal.
You don't know that?
That is not true. That is not true.
This
He's
is
better
not
than me
true.
at scripts, and he has more friends in
Not
the
true.
chat.
That is not, well, that may be true.
That
Debbie,
That might be true. Clearly, No, I was
I
kidding.
may or may not have a couple team members on, may or may not.
But, there really are no winners because both of you guys, this is really great. Thank you for doing this today. I mean it. I think it's really helpful.
I want to repeat something Mike said was about the first time buyers. We do the exact, we let a buyer, we usually say like our term on the team, we let a buyer get smacked a couple times first before we really go to the mat, because they really don't trust you. I mean, now it's a lot more like sort of known, like social media has helped us with that, but like we let someone lose a deal or two, and then we really say like, listen, Mike, we've lost two. We did it your way twice. We got to do it my way at some point. You're not going to buy a house. Then we can really drop the hammer down. I thought that was really important to note.
Yeah, for sure. No, for sure. I really well said. Okay, so Richard, we're going to start with you because I'm toggling back and forth. And this is a seller objection. Okay, so Richard, I don't want to list my home right now. Like, I think I'd love to work with you. I think you're the agent. I've interviewed 3 agents. And actually what makes me nervous, Richard, is I know you're going to sell my home and I know you're going to do a really good job and probably get multiple offers. But my concern is I don't have a place to buy. And here's where I'm stressed out. Like, I can't buy without selling. So that puts me in a position of having to sell first with no home, move my family twice, that's my concern is the purchase. I am dying to get out of this house. I'm dying to get into that neighborhood over there, but I just don't think I should list right now because, the kids are in school and it feels really disruptive and I don't want to be homeless.
Okay, listen, Vija, I totally get it. This is the same conversation, by the way, Vija, that I have with every one of my sellers, because every one of my sellers is looking to buy here or somewhere else. It's March, so a lot of kids in school issues. LA schools go through June for some reason. So okay, I get a ton of this, not a problem at all. Let me ask you a question. Do you know where you want to buy, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel comfortable that the area you want to buy, that you can afford a home that you'd be happy with based on what we think your house will sell for and your approval amount from the lender?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so let's do this. Why don't we put the house on the market? We can sell the house this weekend, right? I don't know if you followed along, but the interest rates are really high right now.
5.1%, by the way, on Monday.
Crazy. My lender came on and used the number 4 referencing interest rates. And I thought it was like
5
again.
It's 5. It's
crazy. Let's sell the house. We know where prices are at. We feel good about that. How long do you think it'll take you to find a house?
The problem is, like, I've been, looking online. I mean, you've been sending me listings, right? Yeah. I've seen a couple that I probably like, but they sell with multiple offers within days.
Okay.
So I'm sure I could find one in the next, 60 days, 90 days, but I just don't know how I'd buy it.
Okay. No, not a problem at all. So I wasn't sure if you were like, we have a lot of people moving out of state, not enough people, but some. So a lot of our clients are going, we don't have to worry about that. But if they're buying local, if I'm your buyer's agent, I would say, listen, Vija, your price point, right now, our average buyer is looking somewhere like 4 to 7 months, which, maybe we can shorten that timeline if we're a little bit more aggressive. That's just the reality of the marketplace right now. How would you feel if I could sell your house at the number I mentioned and then get you a lease back so you could remain in your home as a tenant of the home with a series of lease backs that could be any length that you want?
Amazing. That would be great. We call that a rent back here. That would be amazing.
Yeah. Do you know what the longest one I ever did was?
What?
8 years. I did 8-year seller lease back. Yeah. The guy never moved in. He leased it back for 3 months and never moved in. Sold it with the same person renting it out. If I can do that, I can get you as much time as you need to buy your replacement property.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Side note, the problem we run into here is lenders only allow 60 days.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're kind of up against that, but maybe in Richard's world, Michael Perna, maybe
I know, right?
About it. Some lenders will give you a little more flexibility.
Yeah.
The way we word it is that, and usually we're getting basically zero pushback from buyers on this. I'm sure same for everyone. The way we word it is we'll say, okay, we'll take the 60-day lease back, and then we'll have an addendum that says we have the right for an additional, 3 30-day lease backs with 15-day notice. Because I don't want you to get stuck with a 7-month lease back and you buy a house tomorrow and all of a sudden you've got to rent your house for 7 months and buy the new one. So
yeah, that's great. That's good. Okay, perfect. Michael Perna, I believe you. I know you could like do a great job selling my home and you probably get amazing. I mean, we talked about the numbers, you probably get multiple offers. My concern, and I'm just thinking we shouldn't list, is that I just don't know where we buy.
Hey, Vija, 100%. That is a very valid concern, especially in this market. First off, I want to assure you, over the last 20 years, we've helped 8,000 families move. Do you know how many of those people have been homeless?
No.
0.
Oh, okay.
0. We have never allowed a family to go homeless. So frankly, just up front, want to put that out there, rest assured. Now, going forward, we have 2 options for you, right? We can put the home on the market now. We can go secure your buyer. So you know you've got the funds freed up, all of those wonderful things. But we can also make sure to include in there not only a lease back or a rent back, but a get out of jail clause. So we can make your home sale contingent on you finding the next home that you want. So we can unwind this whole ball of thread if we want to. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
That's really cool.
Now
So
the second, yeah.
Wait, hold on. Whoa, mine kind of blown right now. Do you do that, Richard?
I mean, in LA, that's not really a thing, but here in Michigan,
I've never
You
heard of
just
that.
Richard
That's
thought.
really smart. So you have the seller. Wait, how I got to know how that works mechanically. Sorry, I'm breaking the role play, but
yeah, we write the clause in that this sale is contingent upon the seller finding the home that they choose. If they don't secure that home, if they're not able to get that home under contract or find a home at all, we can unwind the entire contract.
that's amazing. Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah. Now, option 2, because it is a tight market and there is low inventory, and this is what some of my best sellers do, is we get everything ready to launch onto the market immediately. So we're going to do the photos, we're going to do the staging, we're going to do everything up front, and then we're going to hold while we're looking for your property. And a lot of times that means going onto the off-market inventory. So we're going to do some door knocking, we're going to do calling, we're going to mail letters to your top 3 neighborhoods. We're going to have our inside sales people blast these guys. So we're going to find your home, if we can, off market. And we're also going to network with the other agents in the area to see what's coming to market in the 3 neighborhoods that you're targeting there. Okay. Now, once we find and secure your home, we will immediately jump your home onto the market. And as you know, it's a hot market. We're getting multiple offers right now on just about everything. And that's what some of my best clients choose. Which one's better for you, A or B?
I guess B, right, is what you're recommending.
I'm recommending whatever you're most comfortable with. If you're more comfortable with B, then great. If you sign the listing agreement here, we can mark it as an on-market date to be determined, and then we can get started finding your next home. But you got to hire me first.
What do you recommend?
Honestly, I recommend option A, because then you're
Yeah.
secure knowing you've got a buyer for your home and you'll know exactly how many dollars you have for the next home.
All right, let's do A. Let's do A.
Excellent. Let's go ahead and get your property on the market.
Yeah, I trust you. I mean, you promise you will not let me be homeless. And you've said you've never had a client homeless before.
No, ma'am. No,
Okay.
ma'am. And we can always unwind this contract.
Okay. All right, good. Robin, pull up the poll. That's
Can I ask a
really,
question first? Just
that's
mechanic.
amazing.
Mike,
Yeah.
why don't you recommend option B?
We do sometimes. It's just seller dependent on what they're more comfortable with, and then also what's on the market, what's coming to market. If there's something, if they're in a market where something's coming up fairly quickly, we'll do option B, because we'll just find them a home next week and then put their home on the market. If it's a real tight market, yeah.
We do option B a lot, which gives our clients flexibility, but then that gives us the opportunity to basically shop that house to our own buyers.
Yeah. Same thing here. It's just whatever the client's most comfortable with, but either answer is the right answer, because it means they're signing some sort of document committing themselves to me.
Yeah.
And that's really what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the list agreement signed, regardless of list date.
I would say 60-40 Mike on that one. It's my expectation.
You know, it's interesting because in Washington, I just realized I'm an unofficial participant, but I don't have to get judged. This is kind of nice. I just now noticed. In Washington, it's definitely the rent back. I mean, that's what everyone pretty much does. And, the nice thing about the multiple offer situation is that, we can know very, very quickly up front how much we're going to get. And then it's just a matter of, getting comfortable with the market and being able to pounce when they can pounce. The other thing that's happening here, I don't know if it's happening in your markets, is people are giving non-refundable earnest money deposits here that they're releasing to seller. It's crazy. I was offered $1 million non-refundable earnest money a couple of weeks ago on a listing. And I was I didn't take it. We didn't take that offer, not because of that, but that made me super nervous. I was like, that is a lawsuit waiting to happen if that goes south. Anyway, Michael Perna, 71%, Richard Schulman, 29%. So far we have Perna in the lead, but we have one more to go. All right, and we're going to start with Michael Perna. And this is a, I would say it's kind of a buyer seller. It's both. It's a buy sell, right?
Mhm.
But I am the seller in the context of this. And that is that, hey, I think, and this is I added this one because of recent events. So this is a kind of a newer one that I expect we're going to see if we haven't already. We just started to hear rumblings about it. Hey, Michael, I think we should wait to list my home because I think we're headed into a recession and I want to wait for good deals. I think we're going to start seeing a ton of good deals come up.
Sure. And yeah, I completely understand.
So I want to wait to list and I want to wait to buy.
Yeah, I completely understand where you're coming from. It's been a crazy market from every angle. And I mean, just looking at inflation alone hitting 7.5%, 8%. Let me ask you, what indicators are you looking at that's telling you that we're heading towards a recession?
I'm looking at inflation. I'm looking at interest rates jumping up. I'm looking at some uncertainty with international events. And I'm looking at, I'm starting to read more and more articles. I read The Economist, I read Wall Street Journal, I pay attention, and I'm starting to see now some articles being written about recessions coming up.
Sure. And I 100% have seen the same thing. And to be honest with you, a lot of that I'm looking at as sensationalism, as sensational newsism, right? Like let's gear down and gear into the actual economics that's going on right now. So are you familiar with what the employment rate is?
No, I don't know. I haven't checked it lately.
3.7%.
Oh, wow. Okay.
3.7%. Is that a low number or a high number?
That's low, really low.
Yeah. You want to know another number that was just released with the last jobs report?
No, what's up?
There are 1.8 jobs per unemployed person right now.
Wow.
Does that happen in a good economy or a bad economy?
Good economy.
Absolutely. Do interest rates go up in a good economy or a bad economy? Why is the Fed raising?
In a good economy.
That's right. Because what they want to do is they want to raise rates to temper the economy from being too hot. So it's a steady increase.
Yeah, they raised it because of inflation. Yeah.
Did wages go up last year or down last year?
Went up a lot.
That's right. That's absolutely right. Now, let me ask you the last question. Going into the last recession, what equity position did Americans have on average? Like how much in their home did they have it as actual value to them?
Not that much.
No, about 9%. Do you know where we're at now?
I'm just going to guess like 40%, 30%.
Yeah, right in there around 35%. And what's better is we've got some of these homeowners that have fantastic interest rates. They're not going to move. And in fact, home ownership has extended out to 13 years from 8. Every economic indicator we have shows that no matter what happens, we're on a hot streak that's not going to end. But let's say that it does. Okay. That last recession, how long did it take us to go into it and then come back out of it?
4 years, 3 years?
4 years.
Yeah.
That's it. And how long are you planning on spending in the next home?
Oh, yeah. Probably 10 years, I think.
10, 12, 13 years. 13 years if you're the average American.
Yeah.
10 years if not. So it's better for you to get into the next home and actually enjoy it. And during that time, it doesn't matter where the economy goes. It doesn't matter what the home values do. They can go up 100%, they can go down 50%, anywhere in between. Because what I do know is with economic cycles, 4 years, sure, we might hit the recession, but we're right back out of it again. And you're making money on the other side. Plus, you're enjoying that home. You're getting into the school district that you want to get into. You're getting whatever it is that you're looking for. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
So you think, hold on, I want to wrap this up with a bow.
I like that you close with blah, blah, blah.
You think, so
Blah,
you're,
blah, blah.
so why do you think I should buy now?
Well, you've told me that it was really important for you to get your kids into this school district over into Novi schools, let's just say, and your kids aren't getting any younger. You can't put a pause button on that. And your children's education is paramount, right? It's better for you to be in that district for their future than pay for private schools.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I got it. You're right. The right time to buy this house is now, whether or not the market, you're right. That it's just the right time for my family. So,
Yeah. I mean, in all reality, every economic indicator we have is showing that the market is going to just continue to go up. And even if it doesn't, you still won because you're going to be there 10 to 13 years anyway.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Real estate never goes down over that long a time. So,
Nope.
cool. Okay. Good. So, Richard, hey, I am just really hesitant to make a move right now because I feel like we're going into a recession and, we're going to get really good deals. And I don't know, like, I don't want to make a premature move when the market's hot and maybe inflated, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, Vija, I agree with you, quite frankly. I don't think you're wrong there at all. I'm not going to be one of those guys who lists a bunch of facts, try to convince you of something that neither of us really know. But let me ask you, what's your reason for moving?
I really want to move. I'm not in love with my house. I really love that other neighborhood. A lot of our friends live there. It's closer to school. And I think our quality of life would be better. I'm just ready. I'm ready to move. I've been ready for a while.
So, I mean, let me answer your question with just my own personal story. Like, I agree with you. I think the market's overheated. I think there's a high likelihood that we have some sort of correction in the next, I don't know if it's tomorrow or in a year or two, but it's going to come at some point. So let me ask you this. If it's important to move, how much is that going to really matter to you? Because, my personal story is that, we just bought a property and we didn't get a deal on it. It was something that was important to us to buy. And you know what, if it goes down in value in the next couple of years or several years, it's okay. We're going to hold on to that property forever. And, it's quite pricey and we're going to hold on to it forever. And I'm confident, when I give it to my kids in a long time, it'll be worth a lot more than I'm paying for it. And I'm not super worried. So does that match your thought process right now?
Yeah, it's kind of where I am actually. Like, there's just a point, in life. I've got 3 kids, 2 are still at home. The second one's about to leave, and quality of life is important to us right now.
So then, what does it matter? I mean, look, you're not poor. It's not going to hurt you if this goes sideways. I don't want to be cavalier about the money, but I think some points it's more important to have that family enjoyment, especially with your kids, moving out, like you mentioned. So look, you're going to sell your current house for a ridiculous number, and you're going to buy a replacement house for a ridiculous number, and it's more or less a wash. And if it goes sideways in 2 years, but better in 15 years, will you be happy with that?
Yeah, I probably would be happy with that. You're right. I think that is probably the space I'm in.
Okay,
So,
great. So the next step is for us to put your house on the market, because as we discussed earlier, we've got to sell your home to have the funds ready live to go find a house that you want to buy. So, it's Wednesday today. I think it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday today. We can have your house. We can do a broker tour next Tuesday. How does that sound to you?
Yeah, let's just do it. Let's do it.
There you go. Press hard, sign twice.
All right, good.
That's a triplicate form joke.
We're old. We're old joke.
That is
All right,
old.
Robin, pull it up. And while Robin pulls it up, I'll share mine. I would just
Robin,
Wait.
Let's
Do we
put
get
Vija on
Vija?
there. We want
No,
to
get Vija on there. Yeah.
No, she's not putting me on there.
Yes, absolutely. Robin.
No, I'm not getting
end
judged.
this Zoom.
I'm not getting judged.
Vija. Yellow card, Vija.
I get everybody together. I don't.
You're about to get a red card. We're about to kick
I'm
you
not
off.
getting a red card. Okay, then I won't share.
It's back.
Robin, if you pull that up, my name's on there.
Robin, if you pull that up and her name's on there, you're gonna get something nice in the mail from Richard.
No, okay. Here's the only comment. The only other thing I would add, because those are both really good. I would say this: Michael did a really good job of walking through data, which is going to appeal to a certain type of person. And that's also, a side note, really good way to close an investment property too. What you just did, Michael. Richard brought me down into an emotional state with a personal story. So that was also good, but they're different. And one of them, see, she's my girl.
Not cool.
My only comment I would say on a primary resident, the only thing I would add to that, because they're both superb, is that I have a personal belief that buyers, what really affects their daily life is their monthly payment, not the purchase price. And so I will often bring it down to a monthly payment. Hey, your current mortgage is $3,700 a month, I think you said, and you've run the numbers. You worked with our lender and you ran the numbers, and this is going to bump you up to about $4,600. At a scale of 1 to 10, what's your comfort level with that new payment? Oh, we're fine. Like we're fine. That's great. So I think that if you think of this in terms of, it's a little bit more down payment, it's probably not that big of a difference in down payment though, from what the equity you're going to get out of this house, you're just going to probably flip it into that. So it's probably a wash there. And so I think the only thing to really worry about or to focus on is that monthly payment. If you're, if you're comfortable with 4,600 and, the purchase we're talking about, it might bring you to 4,800, right? What does that $200 delta do to your life? Oh, it's fine. It's nothing. It's not a big deal. Yeah, that's going to change your life. That's going to change your life significantly at about a $1,200 a month delta, right? So I wouldn't focus so much on the price because real estate money is like monopoly money in a sense. It's hard to relate to it. It's not what we use every day. It's not like restaurant money, right? So let's focus on that monthly payment. Be sure that you're staying close with the lender, and I would challenge you to think bigger here and to enjoy your life because, you only live once, right? So I'll tend to focus a little bit more granularly on the monthly payment because at the end of the day, most people will not pay their mortgage off. They will move. Some will, don't get me wrong, but yeah. Okay, Richard Schulman. Wait, does this mean we tied? 56%, 44. Do we have time for one more? We only have 5 minutes. What do we do? It was a tie.
Round.
Well, that just means you got to have us back.
So Richard Schulman won at 56%. I did notice something. I noticed whoever went last won. I did notice that. Yeah, I think so. I think that's true. Well, you know what? To me, that's almost perfect that no one won because that would have been hard for me to have one of you be a winner. So
it's a wrong thing to say.
You're all winners. But and I didn't even have to get judged. Which was really great. So no, thank you guys. I mean, we're in for a new set of objections probably, and it's going to be interesting to see what comes down the pike. And don't you worry, I 1000% will have you guys back because these are my most fun. I love doing these. We need to do one live. We need to get ourselves at some event and do this live. That would be really fun.
I'm in.
Have a real whistle.
Austin
I
and
disclosed my terms.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you for joining us, whether you're driving in your car and listening, whether you're watching on the Pivot Shift Ahead page or watching us on Zoom. Please join me in thanking Michael Perna, Detroit, Michigan, and Richard Schulman all over LA for, if you have any referrals, they're your guys. And this was really fun for me. And we'll see you next week at noon Pacific time, like we always do.